everybody, and welcome back. I know it's been a while over the holiday break, but we are back with the lands of Lazrikaan, and we get uh, kind of who wants to do the recap? Who's gonna give us the recap here for what happened last time?
Me. I want to
Oh,
steal the party notes.
go for it. Go for it.
So, all of this was Decto 19, right?
Yes. It hasn't switched days yet.
The party is set to split. Arthur, Bazbeer, and Saren were tasked to find the Mudpaw Druid Circle and find out about undead activity, while Avaria and Madhu head to Poskar's old home to find answers about the murder of his father. Before they split, Bazbeer asks Avaria to get him a jar of graveyard dirt. Not suspicious. After she is sure that he isn't trying to trap her, not suspicious, she accepts his task. The Mudpaw crew ask around to see if they can find the location of the Druid Circle. Saren finds out that they were last seen near a nearby body of water. They head towards this location. Meanwhile, Avaria and Madhu head to the old cabin in the woods. On the way, Avaria confronts Madhu about his suspicions of her, especially since they follow the same god. When they arrive at the house, Avaria searches the interior while Madhu keeps watch. She finds that despite the disrepair, the house has been recently used. There are also markings left by followers of Narathos and members of the Crypt's Eye cult. She also finds a scroll written in a language that neither she nor Madhu can understand. She keeps it in hopes that one of the other party members can read it. Outside, Madhu searches for evil, finding a source outside the house. They go to this source, finding a freshly overturned grave. Avaria realizes that there was either a strong evil that was here, or strong evil that is currently there. She tries to detect the undead and finds nothing. She concludes that the evil is from an echo. They dig up more of the overturned grave and find no body. Avaria surmises that this grave belonged to Poskar's mother and was probably raised by him or his friends in the Crypt's Eye cult. Meanwhile, Arthur, Bazbeer, and Saren stumble upon the Mudpaw Druid Circle. They are not warmly welcomed at first, but the circle lightens at the mention of Saren's mother and drop all suspicions when a halfling woman hears them drop Fash's name. The woman calls them into her abode and tells them about the evil activity in the area, including an animal-like undead creature. The druids and the local homesteaders have taken to calling this beast Ravage. She also tells them about more cult activity near Poskar's, including cloaked individuals, one with a serrated blade. This individual has already killed several of her druids. The party returns to Imric and to the tavern. Fash gathers them together to see what they have discovered. Varia tells the party that she and Madhu found out and revealed the scroll. Bazbeer recognized the language as a dialect of Vestian. Using magic, he reads the scroll silently. He is horrified to see that it reveals that the Crypt's Eye cult is more widespread than they had first believed. He says that he can't talk about it in an open area and urges the party to move somewhere more private. Before that happens, Arthur and Saren talk about what they discovered from Fenwidge. They have a suspicion that the man with the serrated blade from the tavern earlier in the day and the one Fenwidge spoke of are one and the same. They also say that the cultists in the area tend to take care of any loose ends once they're done with them. With these revelations, the party moves the discussion back to their collective room. Here, Bazbeer reveals what the scroll says. He also says that a drow name, Verlantine, appears in the scroll. While most don't have extensive knowledge, if any, of the drow, Bazbeer's fear of them is enough to sway the party. As the discussion goes on, Arthur feels paranoid and looks out of the window to see if the party was followed at all. He notices A person outside he's only heard about in descriptions. Bhaskar. He seems to be drunk, stumbling through the streets. Arthur also sees a flash of steel as someone follows Bhaskar. A serrated blade? That would make Bhaskar a loose end. Warning the party, they all leap to their feet and run downstairs to save Bhaskar and find out what's happening around Imric.
And this is where we jump into the moment. As you all kind of come out of one by one, as fast as you can out of the inn. Well, let me go here real quick. Let's move you guys to where you're supposed to be. As you move out, where is it? There it is. Okay. I will have you all drop yourselves up there between the two buildings at the top of the map, as far as the map is concerned. As you all come running out, those of you with survival, and especially Arthur as a ranger, realize very quickly something you've been kind of afraid of all day as you hear the thunder start rolling in and the overcast sky turns angry and the wind picks up and you start feeling the first drops of what you know is probably going to turn into an early spring storm. This is not favorable conditions. But as you look out, as Poskar seems to be completely oblivious to any danger, let me get some spot and listen checks from everybody.
All right.
Real quickly, is anyone else still on the map screen?
Yes, you need to drag the golden ribbon onto the map.
I did. I thought
it's very difficult. You got to drive it to like the very center of it. Otherwise,
it's picky.
It's very picky.
I think you can also right click on that screen.
It made it into a file is what it did, and I don't know why it did that. It was weird. You guys should be seeing it now, I think. Is everybody getting there?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we're put your here-ish.
Kind of between these two buildings, probably close to where the entrances would be. Either I don't know. I feel like the one on the other side is the inn.
Okay.
I'm very bad
on this side.
I feel like that's the inn right there.
Yeah. I remember Bazbeer said that he was, Bazbeer, as if I talked to myself in third person. I said Bazbeer was charging out front, causing quite a ruckus as he slammed his way through the bar.
All right.
Spot and listen.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody, after you've placed your icons, give me some spots and some listens.
Listen.
All right, give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm doing a bunch of stuff on my computer. Give me 1 second.
I listen well, but do I spot well?
Jeez, dude.
Damn, the same roll. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Damn, Archer.
Archer's like, I smell him.
Hold on, my computer is acting like a butt. Give me a second.
Oh, you're good.
All right.
I don't know if this is a joke that Mira's told you, but are we smelling the burnt turkey?
Oh yeah.
Are you smelling the burnt turkey? That's great.
Yeah, fucking evil. Evil smells like burnt turkey. Good smells like
cranberry. No, that was neutral. Good is cranberry sauce.
Oh yeah, neutral smells like mashed potatoes. That's right.
Do we ever have a thing? No, because they can't detect that. I was going to be like, what does lawful and chaos smell like in the Thanksgiving goods?
Come on, man.
They shut that.
Hold on. Do what I'm asking you to do.
So I'm going to say lawful probably smells like the dishes after they've all been cleaned.
Yeah.
I smell alignment. That would
be
a weird.
alignment.
That would be a weird.
That would be a weird spell.
That would be a weird spell. All right.
I mean, detect alignment. Just got to get a little silly with it.
There you go. So I think I'm going to reveal some stuff here because Archer and Basbeer did really well on their spot checks. Nobody did 100% as well as they probably should have.
Ooh,
But
I don't like those.
Sorry, I'm really bad
yes.
at adding tokens. So if my token drops onto the screen and is giant, I'm just gonna shrink it down.
Well, you're
I don't know
what?
if it is. I said I'm really bad at adding tokens. So just be very patient with me. It's not doing it. Yeah, I'm trying to get my token on. I'm not really good at it.
Yeah, we'll give you a minute. While we're waiting on that, everybody go ahead and click on that. Have your tokens out there. Click on your token and roll your initiative so it gets added to the
Make sure
tracker.
you clicked on it first, or it won't go on the tracker.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you clicking and dragging the name itself?
Is that what I have to do? Drag the name itself?
Yes.
Initiative.
All right. Let me see if I can do that.
Is this it?
Yaha!
Perfect. Got it.
Nice. Let's see.
Maybe.
All right.
As
And
beer
then
moves about as
No
well as
character was found for selected. Syntax error. Uh-oh.
Roll 20, you card.
Syntax error. Expected
It's
parentheses. Period. Celly, floor, round, 0 through 9, but S found.
Sean, you might need to highlight a couple tokens, right-click them, and then hit Add to Initiative at the bottom. Because if it's being funky,
Okay, so let me
Yeah,
see.
I'm getting the same thing.
quite odd.
Select.
Well, it's also being a little weird for me too. It was
Let me
being
pull
kind of weird
out.
when I was trying to do the.
We should set exactly where the issue was. So let me pull this out into a notepad.
jeez. Okay, so I can't.
S was found. Check. The only places I can see the character S is where it should be.
Why can't I?
So it added you as like Basbeer's initiative came through.
Yeah.
It added you, but doesn't have your name attached to it. Hey, did you drag your token how did you drag your token over?
I think I just grabbed my name and dragged it over.
Yeah.
Maybe try redoing it. I don't know.
Yeah, let's try this and see if that works. Oops.
Well, that's fine. Because if
I
you
go
do
to
it right this time, it
that.
should be able to do that.
That-
Sorry, stream. We are having technical difficulties with Roll20. We are not sure
Who'd have
what's going
thought?
on.
And of course, water is still wet.
Right.
This just in.
Yeah. I wonder if it has anything to
Nope.
do with the fact that it made it a folder. Oh, with the main map. I don't know why here.
I have never, I've never not been able to pop up a menu. Maybe I'm always a GM. I cannot get my anything onto the initiative. I rolled an initiative, but I can't get it in there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll just have to
not letting me.
manually do it. Then just put your tokens out there so you can move them around. But
Yeah.
I'll just have to add. Let's see.
So it'd be 1d20 plus 3.
And Basbeer's already in there, so
Yeah, I don't know what problems you guys are having. I'm doing fine.
Damn, I got a
It's
good
not linked to
initiative
my
roll.
token. What the hell?
Yeah, for me it just says no character was found for selected.
I bet you a bottom dollar that it is having to be. It has to do with the 3.5 module that it's using.
Hold
Maybe.
up. Let me try something a bit silly. I'm not a programmer, but let's just start tweaking with the code.
Oh, here we go.
All right, here we go. No doubt. That's always
That's always a good thing. Play
Yeah, I'm
by-
not a
feels like
there
a-
we
programmer,
go.
but hey,
What'd you do?
Initiative
I had to go into my
19.
character sheet, deselect the actual token I'm using, and then reselect it.
Deselect the token and then reselect the token?
Yeah, so go into edit on your character sheet.
Uh-huh.
Where it says use selected token, click that again.
Okay.
Take the old token off, drag a new one over.
Okay. Click to upload. Or I can drag it over from my assets. Or should be able to. Let me see where it is. Here. Use selected token.
In the meantime, I guess I will, while you guys are doing that, I will kind of describe what you're seeing. You are seeing the torches that, sort of like the external torches collect like on the buildings and stuff, like near entrances are starting to like blow in the wind pretty hard.
That's not working for me.
The torches are going out. Lanterns are starting to flutter as the wind picks up.
Wow.
The individuals you see over here are all clad in black, and they seem to be wearing a sort of bandana around their like the bottom halves of their faces, like a scarf or something. It's hard to tell what exactly. They appear to have been standing there waiting. Uh, like I don't think it's too much of a leap of logic for you guys to realize that there was some
There
level
it
of
goes.
ambush involved here. Although whether they were going to try to ambush uh, Prosker or whether they were trying to ambush you is unclear.
Oh, that roll is so much worse. But I got it working.
All right, there we go. So I can.
You go before Basbeer.
You can
Yeah,
just
but I
add
had
me.
a 19 before.
Just add me manually. I'm not about to try to just add me manually. I had a 16.
Okay. So
I was
hold on a second.
best.
All right, trying to fix the initiative tracker here, and it's being funky
Yeah,
on me.
sorry if we borked that up.
Saren's is working, so I can get rid of the Saren's like thing too. And Avaria, you got a what?
16.
16? All right.
Yep.
Alrighty. Now let's go over here. Let's sending everybody, and then we'll go to the top of the initiative order. At the top of the initiative order, Tamir, you will be the first one to act. Yeah. So you see what's going on here. What is you are the top of the initiative order, and you
Oh
can
boy.
tell that, you know, but yeah, these guys were right over here, and you're not sure whether they were there to complete the ambush of Prosker or if they were there to ambush you guys specifically, but they're looking at you, whether that's because you made a lot of noise coming out or they were waiting for you is hard to tell. But what is your action here?
Hey,
You're on the first of the initiative.
so this guy it's whether they're ambushing us or Oscar, I don't think it really would matter.
Fair.
Smir is using Word of Pain. Level
Power
1.
word of pain.
Where's
Oh, wow.
where's the DC here?
Is the power word just owie?
Saving throw none.
No saving throw.
Ooh.
No saving throw.
What level spell is this?
First.
A first level spell with no saving throw. Okay. That instantly deals 6 points of damage to one creature of your choice, another 2 points around every. Okay. All right. So what does this look like as you cast this spell?
So she sees the guys sort of coming out of the shadows and with their weapons brandished, and she's just like, oh hell no. And she just basically it's like a primordial scream she gives at the one.
All right. So let me put a note on this here.
And that 2 hit points every round thereafter lasts for 15 rounds.
Jeez. Oh,
Yeah.
first level spell. God, oh.
That's out of the race is a dragon. That's
What
out
was
of the
it?
Dragon's Race book.
God damn.
Powerful ass spell. Yeah. So obviously you guys, have some reaction to this, like, but you like not necessarily like in motion or whatever. But what is your does anybody have a particular expression on their face? Because up to this point, all you guys have known her as is a fire dancing girl, like maybe a fire dancer from the south. Basbeer, maybe you had some clue because your prophetic dreams told you that she was going to be important somehow. But what are the rest of your reactions like?
Well, Avaria doesn't say anything because she just looks at her and smiles and says, "I see that you are hiding some secrets." Calls it a day.
All right.
Anyone else got anything they want to say?
All right.
Not yet.
Because
We'll see.
Arter here is just like, man, everyone here is shady.
So Posker is probably the next one to act, and he's at this point still fairly oblivious. So he's going to move. He's going to continue to stumble forward. I think he's right about here right now.
Okay.
So, so he's but brings us to Saren. What is Saren doing this round?
Sharon's just going to move forward, and he already activated when he was coming out the blade.
Huh?
So he's already got that out, but all he can do is move forward because that's as far as he can go.
All right.
30 or
Well,
60 feet. How far is this? I forgot to measure.
yeah. We'll go ahead and move Saren around the map then.
Oh, I guess I can move all the way there and then attack him. It said that's 30 feet, and then I stab him.
All right. Go ahead and give me your attack roll then.
Gonna stab him.
Stabby stab.
Through the wire.
Sorry, need that. What is...
There was a lot of questions. It took a moment. There you go. The 23 hit them.
Yeah. Yeah, that hits.
Jeez.
he's quick and he's nimble, but you trained with trained in Nur to develop these skills. Like you trained directly, in the same academies that Duco Cantor pulls his special agents from. And your father was, an agent himself. And you manage with that. What does it look like here as you drop him, as you kill him?
God
Because he goes
damn.
down. He
Okay,
goes.
so Surin runs up and sees it and is like, not sure who's what. He just picks the closest one. And with this little shiny, glowy sword in his hand, is like, well, time to show what I'm worth. And lunges forward with the sword towards him and just like, here you go. And then sees it right through his shoulder just to see, will this work? I don't know. Let's try. And then sees him fall and he's like, oh, I guess that one worked. Next.
He goes down. He is dead. He's down. All right. And he was the next one. He was next on the initiative order, but now it's Avaria.
All right. Let's see. All right. I am going. I can't. You know what? I will double move. I will double move so I can get to Hosker.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna move to Posker. And I'm going to say, um, I'm not trying to grapple him, so this is not an action. This is more just like flavor, but I'm not actually trying to do anything to him except for talk to him. And I say, "Are you Posca?
He
You
just
are
kind
in,
of he just kind of looks at you blearily like, "Who the fuck are you?"
you are in grave danger. We are here to help you." And then that's all I can do because I double move.
All right. Let's see. I see something here. There's something I did not do. So he would probably effectively be, yeah. Except he'd be. All right. So I need to do this. And look at what his combat stuff is. He needs, yep. All right. So this one that none of you saw comes leaping out of the bushes, and he is going to. I see something here. Double check a couple of things before I make a calculated. What is. Oh no. He'd be that, and then. So I got to figure out who he'd actually target. So. Yeah, okay. So I know what he's going to do then. I think what he does is he is going to. Oh, this is not going to be good here. Oh no, he didn't get a flanking bonus. He gets. Additional attack bonus. No, because that's all figured into the other thing.
That would hit me.
Oof. Well, he actually isn't targeting you at the
Oh, okay.
moment. He, however, what was his strength score? Does he have a strength bonus? No, he does not. Okay. Oops.
Ooh.
He's
Ow.
I need to do something here.
Please tell me Posker has more than 10 hit points.
Right?
Normal civilians have 5. Uh-oh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh.
He's got
Oscar's fucking dead.
no.
Get it.
He's still alive, but he is badly injured. He
He felt that.
Yeah, like this guy darts out of the bushes, and all of you at once, like especially you and Archer, especially Basbear and Archer, are like, "How the fuck did we not see that guy?"
Yeah.
Because you were just like, first of all, you were very aware when you saw the other two that your average person would have completely missed their presence. Like most of the party didn't see them until you called it out. Like you two are the ones that spotted these guys. But this guy evaded even your notice. So the first thing, your impression, Basbeer and Arthur, is these guys are really, really stealthy. And the average, if you guys hadn't have been here, then they could have likely killed just about anyone they wanted to kill, and nobody could have done a damn thing about it or even knew it was happening until it was done. You know, they'd have found Prosper's body in the middle of the street in the morning and not known what the fuck happened. But the a little bit from you is Avaria. The as soon as this guy jumps out and stabs Posker like right in the side, like slides his short sword right in the guy's Posker's ribs, and Posker starts uh, starts to kind of like falls back a bit, and he's like fall he's you know this guy looks over at you, and he's like looks over at you, and he's got a weird look in his eye, and he's like yeah, he's like wait a minute, you should be working with us. What are you doing here? And but like that's about all that you get, and that's when see
What is this, a
let's
crossover
see
episode?
this guy right here is going to move in on you, Saren. And he is going to take a stab at you. Let's see. Let's go back here. And we'll go back to his attacks. Oops. Here we are. Weapons. Flanking. No, he does not have that. or any additional bonuses.
Oof.
Zarin, does that hit?
Yeah.
All right. Then you take
Take
really?
0 down.
What?
Fine. I'll roll it manually then. Oh, I see what the problem is.
Take that, mind boy.
There we go. Let's see if it does what it's supposed to now. There you go. You take 5 points of damage as he comes in with his short sword and stabs you.
Oh, so you want to get in this now? Okay, gotcha. Thanks for the little wound. You're next.
All right. Cool. What is
All right. So we are. Come on. What are we doing here? Sorry. I should have done this first, but I did not. All right. And let's see. And from there, it goes to Arthur.
Archer's going to. Well, how far away are we from this duder?
And I don't know that any of you would have necessarily heard what the kill hand said to Ivaria. However, I will allow Tamir and Saren to make listen checks to see if they heard it, because they were probably about closest. They have the off chance they might have.
Now, do these guys count as undead for my favored enemy?
No, they do not.
Okay. I will not get the bonus.
Woo!
Ooh.
Oof.
Saren, you didn't hear it, but Tamir, you barely heard it.
Single attack.
But from what you know, she was looking for these guys. She was looking for these guys to begin with. So
That doesn't
Rowan,
seem right.
Rowan, before you
Suspicious.
finish your movement,
Yeah.
I have a question to ask Sean. Can players move through other player spaces unimpeded?
I kind of allowed it with Theron, and I probably shouldn't have. I will say half move going forward, just to it'll have your movement.
Would you mind scooting over 5 feet, Rowan?
No, I needed to see how close I can get, or I have to be.
Okay.
Because I have to be within 20, so I need to go forward more.
And
Then I think I'm in
also
range
need
of
to.
both.
Oh man, I need a straight line.
Like that? Did I get out? Should I move like one over?
Yeah, just like one over. If it's not too much trouble, I got a plan.
Well, hold on. Let me move. So I could move to here, and then I'd be in range of that, and then I'd still be 20. Yes.
Okay, that works perfect. Thank you.
Do that. I think I can only do single attack because I'm throwing it. Don't think that counts as flanking. No additional attack bonus. That ain't hitting. Shit. Oh well. That's my turn. Throw a dagger.
Ooh.
Should be range 20. I don't know why it's saying 10.
Let's see, 11. You miss. It flies wide.
That's what I thought.
But you also notice that he's fairly quick to dodge. You have a feeling just from the way you threw it that if you had hit him, it probably would have deflected off of his armor anyway. But a lot of it was how quickly he moved. Like, these are not average folk. These people are trained. So
Michael.
let's see. I want to check something here. Oh, I also need to. Before you do yes, go ahead and go. Because next round there's further developments.
All right. Bazbeer is going to charge. You are going to see a dwarf schmoovin. And with that charge, I can make an attack.
Very dangerous over short distances.
Yeah, with natural born sprinters.
Jacques.
I'm sorry? Hold on. I'm sorry.
What?
Why is Jacques Serrano rolling initiative?
I have no idea. What just happened here? I don't know. Did I have the wrong thing? What is going on?
You might have had the wrong sheet. I was about to say if Jacques
it's
comes
Jacques
in,
with the steel chair.
yeah, if Jacques Serrano comes in, just fucking
just like
yeah. He would say ha ha, wouldn't he?
What the hell? What the hell? I'm pretty sure I was on. No, it's still showing. I'm on the right sheet, but it's still showing. Okay, well, I guess we're just going with the first set then. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why it's doing that.
No,
That's so weird.
You're good. I was just curious.
It is so weird. Okay.
That's so funny.
This attack is with a +2 because I charged.
Did you add that in with the other bonuses? Okay.
Yes,
all right.
yes.
So +18. And that hits.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll your damage.
All right.
I'm just going to say that you out there in the audience, I'm just going to say roll 20 is a special level of special today, apparently.
Yeah. Bazbeer charges through and says, probably just says something in Dwarvish like, Unbrush Karenge! And just like swings his mace overhead into this guy's shoulder.
Oh, God. Yeah, you catch him. It doesn't look like you do a ton of damage to him, but you do manage to catch him fairly well, catch his shoulder, and he kind of turns and looks at you. And he kind of turns and looks at you, and he gives you an odd look. And he's like, like he doesn't quite know what to make of you. You clearly don't move like undead, but you're pale like undead. And he's a human, and it's likely he's never seen one of your kind before, because your people have been cloistered up under the mountain for generations, for hundreds of years. So he's like, huh? He's seen dwarves, just not your type of dwarf.
Yeah, I think that Bazbeer, for his part, gives him a look of pure fire and brimstone back. Like he's crazed.
All right. So we are at the top of the round, and before we start going into initiative, there are a couple of things that of note. This is where the storm really picks up. Arthur, you're going to start taking penalties for throwing because the wind has picked up to severe wind. All ranged attacks are going to take a penalty at this point. Spot and listen checks are also going to take a penalty. Let me find the notes I have here because I wrote down the stuff for weather effects. There it is. I have all of this. So going forward, flames, all unprotected flames, all the torches are out. like there are lanterns and there's the glow of light from the windows of buildings, but anything beyond that, anything too far from a building or a lantern is just, yeah, and the lanterns, there's like a 50% chance any one of them will go out per round. There is a -4 penalty to search and spot, and anyone trying to move in a direction at this point will have to make a DC 15 fortitude save to be able to make any forward progress moving. So those of you who moved last round probably were actually have managed to get a little bit of jump on the action here. Anybody else who has to move is going to start taking a penalty to moving, or at least having to do make a fortitude check. If you're just standing in one spot, you don't have to make the fortitude check. But if you're moving, you have to take a fortitude check. If you're ranged attack, you take a -4 to hit, and
Oh
all
my
list.
god.
So, with the -4 in mind to spot and listen, I need you all to make some spot and listen checks.
OBKB.
Before we start the round. So
that'd be a 21.
Bazbeer ain't seeing shit and ain't really hearing shit.
Not seeing shit, hearing shit. At least I did that.
Yeah.
all right. So
I might hear and see some stuff, but I'm not sure.
so
Hold on.
where is it? Hide.
I haven't done it yet.
Oh. See
let me
Brian
check.
pop out with that Brian luck. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, no, not with a -4. Not with a -4 on this character.
13. So 13, 16. So
you
it's
see a
all
foot,
probably on the
maybe?
listen checks here. Oh my god, Demeter, you are completely out of it.
Only know
You're
what's
like,
in front of me. That's it.
yep, exactly. Saren. And let me see. Theron and Avaria. You hear movement coming from the direction of this area. You don't see anything, but you hear something that doesn't sound like the thunder or the rain that you hear just over the storm, but only just barely.
Do I hear
But you
it
can't
too?
tell exactly. What was your listen check?
21 after the -4.
Okay. Yeah, you hear it as well. So if you beat a 16 on a listen check, then you hear something over here. So, but you're not sure where, because I
Yeah,
don't think any of you rolled.
no,
I don't think any of you rolled a high enough spot check. So,
Yeah.
the spots were bad.
yeah, like between the fact that it's sort of your visibility was already bad because it's nighttime and all of the torches went out. There's also the precipitation, and you're surprised you could hear anything over the howling of the wind. uh, but you are aware something is going on over here, and that said, I need to look at where was it? 11 and 21. So I need to add something here. And 11 was this guy right here was 11. This guy right here was 26. Now we'll set the turn order back up. All right. And I need measuring. Yeah. Okay. So
Prosker, if you move, I swear to God. You better slip and fall on your ass, boy. Like, this is not happening.
Play dead.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And which one was which? Oops. Go back here. So I need to know that. Okay. All right. So at the top of the round, and you saw the initiative rolls, so
Yes, we
this is
know it's Jock. We know it's Jock Serrano in the shadows.
Yeah.
We all know.
Jacques
Guys-
Serrano is in
Yeah.
the shadows.
Jacques Serrano has come to save the day.
Yeah, thank God.
It was the bonus from the sheet I was trying to use. I don't know why it labeled it as Jacques Serrano. It's so weird. So weird.
Yeah.
All right. So let's. Oops. Oh, I need to do this though before I can do anything, because the same penalties apply to them would apply to you. So I need to go back to here. We'll need to see if he can do what needs done. See if he can do what he wants to do. He may not be able to, but we'll see. No, he cannot do what he wants to do this round. But it doesn't blow his cover or anything. Why is that still? Why is that doing? So weird. Gotta take Josh Serrano off the initiative order. Stupid.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Never see him
Tamir,
coming.
it's on you. Your go.
Well, he sort of has cover. So I'm going after this one.
All right.
And she pulls a bolt out of a pouch that's been hanging at her side.
All right.
And
Launch bolt. You cast spell at a fly target as if you had fired it from a light crossbow using a okay. Remember that's going to be a -4 to the attack roll.
But it's a natty 20.
Oh yeah, so that's deal 6. Okay, awesome. Yeah, if it flies through the air and hits him, but it doesn't take him out.
well, that 6 isn't doubled. That's just a
Uh-huh.
regular 6 rolled.
Right, I get it. Yeah, so the bolt flies true, trailing magical sparks along the way of whatever color Tamir would have for magical sparks.
Probably red.
And you think?
Yeah, be like a reddish.
All right,
How is Tamir holding up in the rain? I feel like that's not her normal environment.
Tamir, this is maybe you've experienced snow and Tamir, it took a long time to get from the Nasarad Desert here, so she's probably seen weather. She's probably not comfortable in it, not
Yeah,
acclimated,
this
but
wet rain coming from the sky. It's a little weird.
yeah, it's strange, but it's not like she's never seen it before. Yeah, so the bolt flies and hits him in the chest, but he just kind of looks at you and looks in your direction angrily.
Aw.
Prosker, he's stunned. He has no idea what to make of this situation right now because he's drunk for one, and I think he's going to need to make a fortitude save to. I think he's going to need to make a fortitude save to see if he actually even falls down.
Yeah, he did just get stabbed. That's a significant damage when you're drunk.
Well, he got stabbed, and the wind and it's severe wind, and he's drunk. So
Yeah.
it's a combination of like three things here working against him.
Yeah, this is fine. As long as he stays in one place. Ah, perfect.
He falls on his ass like, what the fuck is going on? And he's kind of looking around blearily. And that's what happens with Prosker. He, I think this guy is, I think he's going to be like, I think he'd say something here, but he's going to continue to try to. Where is that? He's like, I think he says, I think he looks at Prosker and he says, you should know the grave is always silent as he stabs at him.
Fuck. Goddamn assassins.
If it will let me. Oh, yeah, there we go. Flanking, no. Additional attacks bonus. He's prone, so he still loses his armor class bonus. And I think that's probably all that. He didn't really have to hit that high anyway.
Dog.
Jesus, yeah. And that's actually gonna give him.
God. Oh, okay.
That's actually gonna give him damage roll here. Let's see if it will do that.
Oof. Prosker's still alive? Jeez.
No, he is very dead.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, he is still alive. Barely,
Holy
but
shit.
he is still barely
One-off
alive.
lethal count it?
Yeah.
No, he is barely alive.
We take these.
Yeah, the black cloak figure looks at him and goes, looks at you, looks at the two of you, Basbeer and Avaria, looks back at Prosker and says, "You should know the grave is silent," and stabs him, and he gets him pretty good in in the stomach. But Prosker is trying to scrabble backwards, so he avoids getting a lethal shot, but just barely. Like he is in bad shape at this point. Um,
Well, that answers my spell slot question I had earlier.
yeah. So that's him. Saren, it is your turn.
Yeah, so the dude right in front of me, I'm going to stab him. I
All
don't know.
right, go ahead and give me your attack roll.
Ha!
Oh, snap! Roll that damage, man. That was a nat 20. Saren with the MVP.
Man.
God, dog.
Woo.
What does this look like as you take him out, Saren? Officially the most lethal member of this particular fight
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
So
far, or at least
Saren
of
was
the
like,
party anyway.
so Saren before was like, "Oh, you're gonna try to come after me? All right, I'm gonna show you what capabilities I have," and just lunges like his glowing sword right into the facial location of this individual and just forcefully jams it as far in and pulls it straight out. It's like, yeah, please don't hit me again. Oh, I guess you're not going to hit me this again. All right, that works. Next,
Yeah.
and looks
All right.
around. Wait,
All
I have a
right.
movement. I could try to move, but I'd have
Yeah.
to make that fort thing first.
Yeah. You'll have to make a DC 15 fortitude save.
Are you able to move after attacking?
Yeah. As long
Yeah.
as you didn't move before.
As long as
Oh,
you didn't
shit.
move before. Exactly. Yep.
I always thought that 3.5 you could only attack or move then attack. You couldn't attack then move. I guess I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I
you
don't know.
can't unless you have a feat, you can't move, attack, then move again. But you
Yeah, you
can
can't
move, then
split
attack,
movement.
or attack. You can't take full
Yeah.
attacks, which includes multiple attacks. If
Mm.
yeah, Saren, you can't make any progress. Like you stab this guy and turn to move to move off to help everybody else or whatever, but you like but the wind is just so strong you're having a hard time making any kind of progress here. You're like you're just basically bracing against the wind at this point. Evaria, it is your turn.
All right. So Avaria says she looks down at Posker bleeding out on the cobblestone road and looks up at the guy who had just told her that he should be with her. She says, I would never be with you. I don't kill innocents.
He's
And
he looks
she
very confused at this.
she like and Basbeer, you can see that her face is like she is like very, very angry and very frustrated. And like her in fact, when she says that you can tell that her accent is gone. She says,
Mm.
innocence. And she like reaches out and grabs him by the arm.
All right, let me get the grapple roll
This is
there.
a grapple. This is for flavor. This
Okay.
is and she reaches out and grabs him by the arm, and misses. Wait, is that
You
right?
go to
That
you
misses?
go to yeah, you go to
But
grab him and
you
he
do see
just
like
kind of go ahead.
you do see some black energy come from her hand,
Yeah.
but the it doesn't connect.
Yeah, he looks up at you and he looks up at you and goes, "Can't you see? It's your destiny. Finish him." And looks back at Prosker on the ground.
I don't know what you're talking about. She tries to grab him, but it doesn't work. All right, and that is her turn. She does not have any other action. She's not going to try to walk.
So he's out of the fray. I need to make a fortitude save here.
What's the DC on the fortitude save?
15.
Whew, fucking hell.
Yeah, it's windy. It is severe winds. Ooh. Well, yep. This guy comes out. Another one of these dark clad figures comes out, running out.
No.
Come
And
on.
well,
Oh man,
that re-answers my spell slot question now.
I really thought that was going to be Jock.
Yeah, I was hoping.
nope.
Fuck.
Gee, dude.
You have not
Ooh.
rolled under a 15.
I know for whatever. No, I have because because I've rolled somebody else's saving throw that didn't quite make it.
Not saving throws, attacks.
Oh, attack rolls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
these guys are hyper lethal vectors.
Yeah, these guys are. You guys are getting the impression these guys are like really, really good at what they do.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep.
This one, yeah. This one comes out and he does finish Prosker off. And Prosker looks, as he's scrambling back, trying to get away from all of you, because A, he doesn't know who Basbir and Avaria are. And he saw the black energy from Avaria and he looked confused. He looked super terrified and confused. But the other guy that was there, as he's backing away from the other one of these dark clad figures, another one comes out of the shadows and puts a blade right through the back of his neck. And he's like, and the grave has its silence. Or nope, he's not the one that needs that.
And then he
Looked on the wrong
fucking
guy.
dabs
He
and
just-
dies.
Yeah, then he just dies. He's like, fuck this shit.
And then the grave has its silence, stabs himself.
Yeah, he's and he kind of looks triumphantly down at Posker, whose last expression is one of complete shock, with the blood pouring out of his neck in buckets as he just like slumps to the ground while this dark clad figure pulls the sword out of his throat. All right. Archer, it is your turn.
Oh, so this will change a lot of my calculus. If I fail the fortitude check, does that just like eat my turn? Or will I just not be able to move?
You can still try to attack, but remember ranged attacks take the -4
Yeah,
penalty,
but
so
that's why I'm like, if I can move, I can try to get into melee.
yeah, you can still try the fortitude save, but
Yeah,
if all else fails, you can still
It's not
try.
impossible.
The storm is against you at this point. It is raining hard. You are all getting dump buckets on at this point.
Ooh.
I don't feel nothing, bitch.
Archer, you summon your years of living outdoors to be able to like move, like you make headway against the
Oh,
winds.
fuck. Would I be in your spell?
Right there, yes.
Shit.
Hold on. Before you change your calculus,
Because I'm out here fighting for my life to get bonuses.
I can do this. This is fine.
Oh.
You can stay there.
Perfect. Because I just
All
want to
right.
I just want to hit somebody. So, yeah, Archer probably sees this guy drop Poskar and like is visibly stunned by this, and then gritting his teeth, like through the hailstorm of rain, manages to find good footing to bound several leaps across to the pavestones while he draws a rapier.
All right.
And is going to try and return the favor.
All right.
Yes, flanking. No bonus. Oop, did that cancel the attack? Let's try that again. Yes, flanking. No bonus.
Hey.
17 hit.
17 hits. Just barely.
My crit!
Yeah, you managed to hit him, but you know that an average person probably wouldn't have been able. He's quick. the thing you guys are getting is that they're quick, well trained. 5.
So-
All right.
This is flavoring the rapier is just like a regular short sword. He probably, as he's running by, feints a swipe to the guy's side to cause him to shift his stance and brace to parry before he pirouettes into his range and stabs it up into the gap of the side of his armor, just missing his armpit.
Yeah, he kind of dances back, rolling with the hit as you know, a little bit, and kind of he looks at you and he smirks a little bit. There's a um, he's not as he doesn't seem as taken with what's going on with Avaria, probably because you actually stabbed him. But he
And
kind
he
of
just
looks.
throws out his hands in challenge, is like, "Come get it, corpse boner."
And he kind of looks at you. He's like, and he kind of looks at you, and he's maybe he sees like your symbol, and he's your symbol. You see him look at your symbol, and he goes, "So the Baron's taken to hiring drunkards and gamblers now, huh?" And kind of taunting you.
Yeah, at that, well, this drunkard's a little bit more armed than that one.
Heh.
And he kind of he just grins in response. So Bazbeer, it's on you now.
Bazbeer is going to use his first level spell slot, converting it to his Dream Domain spell slot of Sleep. I assume I'm going to take an attack of Ops for this.
Who the fuck to sleep?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Go ahead and make that. See if I need to make my concentration or.
All right.
So he does attack me?
Yeah, he will. Sorry, I was checking something else real quick. I was looking at distances from various characters.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah,
Let's see.
I'll preempt a concentration save or check. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah. So he has to hit a 19 or better on me to stop this spell.
Yeah.
Don't tempt fate.
Hey, everyone knows the numbers. They don't change when I say them out loud. Ha!
Woo!
Yeah. He hits,
you-
but he does not stop.
Yeah, it deflects off your armor.
No, that hits, but because his damage... Oh, wait. It's damage, isn't it?
Yeah, he has to do like 5 points of
the
damage.
macro is damage.
He didn't do any damage. He didn't hit your armor class.
My armor class is 16. So he
Was
does
it 16? I thought you said 19.
Yeah, I got the macro or the I got it mixed up.
So then he does hit. Okay.
Yeah, he hits.
I'll need to roll some damage for him then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ha! Doesn't fucking stop me.
Yeah, he hits you, and you're aware how thick and hard it is to pierce through your armor. Yeah, but this guy does. He doesn't manage to like do a ton of damage to you, but he manages to get through your defenses.
Yeah.
Which is no mean feat.
Yeah. So both of those guys, so 4 hit dice of creatures are going to be put to sleep. They have will negate. The save is going to be wisdom is one of my better ones. So that's going to be DC 16.
Okay, DC 16 sleep spell. Okay, so I need to get back to their saving throws.
Ha! That's one sleeped. That's two
Ooh.
sleeped. Combat over.
Alright. Hey, that is all. Yeah,
if
so they are
only.
both. They both get they both are like they both start yawning and fall asleep.
I think that's the
Who's
first
the-
time I've ever had sleep actually work.
Who's
I
the
know, right?
drunkard now?
Actually, that's up to how many hit dice a creature?
4 hit dice.
Oh, that's just barely. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
okay. So yeah,
Bazbeer takes a hit across his chest, and just like that fiery look in his eyes does not leave, and he just Kurthol! And as he does that, like a small shockwave behind these guys emanates, and they go to Betty By Junction.
all right. Well, that effectively ends the fight because the only other like you because all of the enemies within sight are down or dead.
Yeah,
Prosker is dead.
Yeah.
And
Bazbeer drops to his knees next to Prosker and like addresses the rest of the party and says, "Quickly, tie them!"
Yeah, Arthur looks down at dead Prosker and grits his teeth and curses. But he's going to grab the nearest one of these guys and start dragging him towards the nearest safe spot out of the rain to tie him up. He doesn't want the rope getting wet
Well,
and the knot not catching.
in order to get out of the rain, you pretty much have to go inside one of the buildings.
Then we'll take him back to the inn.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say you're gonna have to, in order to do anything with either of them, you're gonna have to. But who's the first one to go back and hit? Like, are any of you kind of like watching for any more to cut for the possibility of any more coming, or are you all going back in? Who's the first one to get back in?
I think I'm going to stand out and helping Bazbear. So whatever it takes to help get these guys inside so we can question them is what I'm doing. So I'm not going to be first.
Yeah, Bazbeer is going to carry Prosker inside. Though he's dead, it is only right to get him out of the rain.
Right.
I will help carry Prosker in.
Okay, so Tamir, you are the closest one to the door. Do you wait for them to go in first, or do you go in before
She
them?
goes in first. She's like, that's wet.
Tamir, as soon as you get in the door, you hear loud crashing noises from above, from the second story where your rooms are at. And you
check it
realize
out.
that Fash did not join you guys to go out and deal with this.
Yeah, I was noticing that.
So, Tamir, maybe it occurs to you that there's a lot of crashing going on from the direction you last saw him.
Yeah, I go up and check.
All right. So, as you go up, maybe you open the room to the door and you see Bash is is bleeding from a dozen cuts. There are two others of these black cloaked figures dead, but there is one other still left in the room, and he seems to have the upper hand on Fash at the moment. The man you saw in the inn earlier, the man that they've been all been talking about, that they talked about being named Rassen, with the one that smells of stale ale with a 5 o'clock shadow and a serrated blade. And maybe Fash is kind of like all bracing himself up against like one of the stands. And he's still got his short sword out in front of him. but he's kind of bleeding, and Rassen is standing there menacingly with his serrated dagger in one hand, clearly in way better shape, just smiling. And the moment you open the door, he kind of turns and he looks at you. He kind of spares you like a small glance, while never fully taking his eye off of off of Fash. And he's like, and he's like, and he looks at and he looks at you, and he looks at Fash, and he goes. He looks at you, and he looks at Fash, and he kind of and he goes. He goes, I suppose we'll have to settle this later. And he looks at and he looks at you, Tamir, and he says, "Fair warning. Follow me, and I will kill you." And and with that, he kind of turns and goes out and jumps out the open window, like and into the darkness.
Can I react before he jumps out the window?
You can.
And then he gets one shot by Brian.
Oh no, there's no possibility of that.
No, but he's
Fuck
going to
you.
be taking damage over time.
Ow, ow, ow.
That is if he. Let's see, and there's no saving throw on this.
Nope, none.
Oh yeah.
God.
Let's see. Is there a saving word of power? Let's
Dude's fucking scary.
Any creature that currently has 100 or more is unaffected by power word pain. Let me see, because I don't think he's got threshold on that, but I may be wrong.
Well, let me just check if this guy's got 100 HP.
Right.
I mean, he was
Where is
kicking
it?
Fash's
Nope.
ass.
Nope. Yeah, he'll remember that though. Like you have a feeling that, like he kind of he kind of like looks at you as so as a sharp pain, and maybe as as he's just about to jump out the window, he probably says, "Oh, your time." He says, "Your time is ticking down. Savor every last breath. It could be your last," and hops out the window and
Yeah.
into the darkness.
Over the next 7 rounds, he'll take up a total of 33 points of damage.
Oh yeah.
Not a problem.
No, but he's going to be hurting.
He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah. Congratulations to me, the first one to make a more powerful enemy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
I probably won the weakest.
the last it takes you guys several rounds to get these guys dragged in. Because the wind and the rain, and you're trying to drag bodies, and you already have to make fortitude saves to make progress. So it's Tamir. It's several minutes before everybody else gets in, and I think Fash looks at you, and he's like, and he kind of goes, he shakes his head, and he's like, "Well, I don't know if that was terribly smart." As he kind of like pulls himself to a standing position, he goes. Says, I get the impression we haven't seen the last of that guy.
Or more than likely, he's probably a lot more powerful than he looks.
He's like, is it Prosker?
That is this when we.
I am afraid he did not make it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like you guys hear just a loud thud from downstairs
Shit.
as Bazbeer not drops, but like heftily sets Posker on one of the tables.
The thud could be Arthur dropping these two unconscious people on the ground, or whoever brought in the corpses.
Yeah. Ooh, good point. Are we bringing the? We should bring the corpses.
We should bring the corpses.
Yeah, yeah. What is Saren helping, or is he just wandering around?
Oh, he was standing watching, seeing what y'all are doing. Like, oh, you want to bring these inside? And kind of drags them in. The dead one.
How is the bartender reacting to us bringing corpses in the bar?
who's the last one in? First of all, I want to.
It's probably Archer because he's having to pull 2 bodies.
All right, Arthur. Why don't you give me a spot and listen check?
My
You got a -4 on both of those because they're still storming out.
Hmm.
sorry, I got kicked out. I got kicked out of the voice chat. What's going on?
Oh, we're dragging
Oh.
everything inside.
Okay, cool.
So, okay. All right. So you don't really see or hear anything different, but you other than the storm, you guys get inside, and the innkeeper is terrified. First of all, he's already terrified. Like you, the thing that you guys noticed that Tamir maybe noticed or maybe didn't have time to before she reacted to the crashing upstairs is the innkeeper is cowering behind the bar. Like you might not even see him at first, because like shit went down. So uh, he's doing that, like he's behind kind of the like bar cowering. I don't think he already expects this is a situation because he's not used to having big fights in his inn or really outside of it. And he's just like, and I think maybe he peeks around the side of the bar when you guys drag the bodies in, and he's like, recognizing you as the people that came in with Fash. He's like, is it safe? Are
Don't worry, these 2 are dead, he says, and like leans over and just spits on one of the dead assassin corpses.
Mhm.
And these 2 drop. Oh, they'll be swinging from a noose here pretty soon, after we get what we need from them.
It's
Too
like,
good for them.
he goes, your friend went upstairs to check on your the gnome that you came in with, Agent Fash. There was a lot of noise, crashing. I don't know.
Archer will look to the others, and Archer looks beat. Like, I'm assuming the wind was one of those winds where it almost stings against you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So his face is red. His hair was always a mess, but now it's just like a capital M mess.
Yeah. I think Bazbeer.
I'm gonna charge upstairs,
Hmm.
saying that he's up
No.
there with somebody else.
All right. Yeah, you come.
Vardy's gonna stay downstairs.
Avaria's what?
If Vardy's gonna stay downstairs, whoever goes upstairs, she's gonna stay downstairs. She stares at the dude who said that she should fight with them. She's like staring daggers into his face.
Archer will hand you a rope, Avaria, and be like, if you're gonna stare, you can at least tie him up.
It's almost distracting when you say it. She's like, kind of like comes out of. She's like, yes, of course, and takes the rope and begins tying him up.
Bazbeer is ignoring like everything going on and is like praying over Posker's body,
Okay.
giving him rights.
Yeah,
All right.
every now and then, while tying this guy up, Archer will look over Posker's way, and there's a look of defeat on Archer's face.
Yeah. He there's a I think Saren, we see Tamir's already up there. Avaria's staying down. Archer, you're staying down here too?
Yeah,
Or are you
Archer's
going
staying
upstairs?
down to tie up the
All right.
bad man.
All right, Saren, you come rushing up and you see Tamir looking in the door to, the room that Fast was in. And kind of come up on that and Fast. You see first of all, you see like two or three more, you see like, what did I say, 3 more dead bodies of the
2.
the dark cloak, two more these
two more
dark cloaked assassins or whatever dead on the floor, and Fash is injured. He's still alive, but he looks like he's taken a beating. Like he's got several cuts, and he's bleeding from several cuts, and he's got you know a couple of stab wounds here and there. He looks like he's been through it, and he's kind of got some blood smeared on the side of his face, like maybe he got hit in the temple at one point with a glancing blow or something. And he used to he's like, he goes, yeah, I take it everyone. He was Saren, because I take it everyone else is downstairs. So
Yeah.
maybe we. What did we? What happened?
Well, those things were outside. Which, hey, I killed two. You killed two. Hey, we're on the same level, right?
He kind of gives you like a sort of half energy thumbs up green creakers, and he can, uh, and that sort of shared bond of being from the same village. It's like and he's he goes, green creakers, we know how to get it done. uh, he goes,
So you good? Hey, let's all get downstairs with everybody else. We'll help you downstairs. And yeah, some people didn't make it, but hey, whatever. They weren't as strong as us, but hey, all right.
yeah, he kind of you guys make your way back downstairs, and the rest of you see Fash for the first time, for the first time since you left to fight, and he looks like he's, just like I described, he's bloodied and looks, he's bleeding from several cuts and a couple of stab wounds, and so looks like he's been through a hell of a fight. He's limping, he's like, he goes, all right, everybody. I understand. He looks around and he sees the other ones down there. He's like, he sees you guys tying a couple up, and he goes, uh, he goes, well, we need a posture, but I see we got some consolation prizes.
Funny way of looking at it.
He's like, and he goes, given the way that it looked, he goes, how did it all go down? Report.
Went out to see the one that was chasing Posker. Storm kicks up. 3 more of them just come out of the rain. Didn't stand a chance.
Crap. He's like, I got a feeling that this was a twofold operation. They clearly meant to kill Posker, but I'm not sure if they were aiming for just me in the rooms or if they were hoping to catch the rest of you too. And they nearly got me. He goes, the one they call Rassin. I've not seen the like of him. He's a. He kind of shakes his head. He goes, I would, standing orders from here on out is do not engage this Rassin individually. I don't think any of us is going to take him alone. Besides, I don't think he's the type to try to fight anyone alone anyway. Imagine if you see him, there's probably going to be more in the shadows.
I don't think we should travel alone either. Just saying.
Yeah, no individual jaunts off into anywhere. We're gonna have to make sure we travel in packs. Ah, it's like the patrol should be here coming through in the morning. He goes, And but that's actually about the time you hear like a bang, like the door like bursts open, and like a whole lot of breeze, like windy breeze comes in. And you see like several armored figures in, and one of them, like the first one through, is wearing like um sort of like fur, like leather, it's like fur, like a fur cloak and whatever. There's like striking blonde hair, very tall, and sort of like muscular. And he looks around and he's like, "Oh," he goes, "I'm glad we managed to make it here before the storm. Ah, it's he goes, "It's well, I mean, at least before it got as bad as it could." And he's like, uh, and Fash looks up and he goes, "Svengar, we could have used you well, we could have used you before now." And he goes, he looks at the rest of you, and Fash looks at you and goes, "Allow me to introduce you to Svengar. Parts far, far, far north, farther than Vestia. Before you ask, he didn't go through Vestia, he traveled around. There seems even that far north, they're smart enough to give that place a wide berth. Is well, he's one of the patrol captains, and he starts filing. Like he comes in the door, and like the rest of his men start filing in. He's like, "We were hoping to get a bit of rest here before we moved on. The storms were well, we didn't feel like camping with this storm." He's like, it's like, "Smart move." It's like, "I think we got a couple of gifts for you to take back to the capital, and I got a report to send with you." And Svengar kind of looks around at the rest of you. And he's like, "This is my team." He's like, and he kind of he's like, "I'm if you don't mind, I'm gonna get myself a drink." He looks around. He's like, "Where's the innkeeper? I could use." He kind of limps over to the bar and sits down. And Svengar kind of looks around at the rest of you.
This entire time, Bazbeer has not broken giving rights. He's just like
Okay.
under his breath, like the people kicked in the door or whatever. He didn't even flinch, didn't even look up. Like,
I didn't kick in the door, but he
not
did
kicking,
fling the
but you know
door
what I
open.
mean.
He
Yeah,
flung it open kind of hard.
right. And I think that like Bazbeer kind of like finishes off with an extra couple words, opens up his book, takes a
Yeah.
daub of Posker's blood and sets it in like on one of the pages, and then he closes the book and looks up at the guards and says, "Whatever your burial customs are, he deserves them."
He goes, and I think this is probably a good place to take our break. So let's take a few minutes break, and we will come back we will come back into this scene. All right.
All right, I'll put us on the intro screen.
All right.
And
Welcome back, everyone. All right. So let's jump right back into it. So Svengar has arrived. Fash is taking a seat at the bar, trying to get a drink, and you guys are standing amidst two dead assailants, one dead Prosker, and two now either tied up or being tied up assailants, and a small contingent of Baron Malberg's patrol forces, Baron Malkane's patrol forces.
I
Malberg is
feel
the name of the
like
capital city.
I feel like we tied them up pretty quick. Aren't like they're sitting up on chairs, arms behind their back, their arms behind the chair, legs tied up to legs of the chairs.
Yeah, I agree. It was two people working on it. I think we're done.
Mhm.
I think Fash over his shoulder kind of like tosses over his shoulder and he's like, someone want to bring Svengar here up to speed as to what this is all about and what's going on? I'm a little parched and I need to write a report.
We could get the answers right out of the devil's mouths if we want.
And send him back to Malberg. Dandor's got some truthy zony spells to make sure they can't lie.
Avaria says, I would like to ask that one some questions, and points at the one he said that she should join him.
I think without hesitation, then Arthur's just going to walk up to that one, and because they're just still under a sleep spell, and just like viciously backhand this guy.
Alright, let me look at the sleep spell description here because I want to.
That would count as rousting, a 1-round
Would it?
action.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
Just not a very friendly one.
Yeah.
No.
He wakes
Jokes
up.
on you, I into that.
He wakes up and he's like, and he looks around the room and he looks at his partner that's unconscious and his two dead partners on the ground, and he just kind of like glares back at you.
Bazbeer looks up and from like writing in his book and says, "Check their molars."
Oh yeah,
He
that Arthur
he
would
chuckles. He
like pry
chuckles the
open his
moment you.
mouth.
Well,
Like that capsule.
the moment that you say anything, he bites down.
God damn it!
Like the moment you say, he's like,
Could there be a roll to try and stop him?
uh, not really.
The other one's
I
still
mean, just
asleep. We can always
biting
rip his
down.
molar out.
Yeah.
Shoot,
Yeah, but that wasn't the important one. Fuck.
that
Yeah.
was the important one.
Yeah, he dies convulsing it. He laughs which turns into a gurgle as he dies laughing at you. The last thing that you hear him
Shit.
say is the last thing you hear him say is silent as the grave.
Arthur
Apparently-
just pushes off and kicks that chair over and is like, ah, shit.
Like Avaria like kicks the table. like, and then like you have never seen her this angry. She's like, check that one, take his molar. Like,
Yeah, Arthur's gonna like back off a bit to give her some space to have her freak out,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of look to Bazbeer about the situation before kind of tapping the dwarf on the side and go, "Should really get that looked at, old man."
Yeah. Bazbeer probably says, "No wound is too great," and he'll stand up, walk over to the still sleeping one, and just cram his fingers into this guy's mouth to like rip out the molar.
Old man hand.
Yeah, these fat dwarven fingers on this somewhat
Ugh.
cold skin.
Yeah, I think he bites you.
That's fine.
Oh!
You take.
Would it be funny if it was like I was
You
gonna say
take
like
two-
you
you
just fucking
take two-
drop?
You take 2 points of
Oh.
damage as he bites you.
Bazbeer grimaces, but is in
And-
grim determination.
And I need you to roll an initiative check here. It's whether you're faster at ripping out his tooth or he's faster at biting down. So
Okay. Oh, that's I roll with a +0, so this is just a flat 20. Fuck! Roll a 1. Roll a 1. Ah! He has a +7.
you're trying to rip at his molar. He bites at your hands enough to to make you have to adjust your hands to where he can bite down, and he also dies,
Bazbeer
convulsing.
Bazbeer pauses for a moment, considering the situation, flips his chair down and stomps on his face just once.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then
satisfying wet thud.
yeah, and Bazbeer, looking up as if nothing happened and he was not emotionally affected by that, says, "Well, information will be harder to get from these types."
Fash kind of tosses over his shoulders, like, pretty clear that they have orders to kill themselves if they get captured. Because whoever they really want to keep their secrets.
Those in death cults often do. Those so adjacent to the grave see it as a transition, not as a final point.
They can rot in the seven hells for all I care. Let's see if the grave's as silent as they think. And he starts rifling through one of the dead pockets.
Yeah, Avaria checks the other guy. Avaria checks the other guy.
I have a random question that just kind of popped into my head while you guys are doing whatever you're doing. So these two died by biting down on the capsule. That fucker died because I stabbed him in the face. That one died because I stabbed him. Are their capsules still intact in their mouth?
Yeah.
Can
Probably.
we extract them?
Yeah.
Oh,
let's do that.
Work is never done, Bazbeer says as he
They
starts going towards the corpses.
And it's not so much that it's like they each have a fake tooth, but it's a different one. What you do notice is it's a different one on each person. It's not always the molar. Like each of these have like it's almost like it's almost like you're not sure if there's any kind of pattern or designation to which tooth, or if it's just meant to be a random. They just randomly do it or whatever. But it's not the same tooth on each individual.
Clever. Very clever.
I don't know. I just think it could be a fun way to. Well, I don't know. My brain's scattered at the moment. I guess thought it would be a good idea. It might be useful somewhere at some point. I don't know.
Like,
yeah, I think Bazbeer wants to take the chemical compound to analyze it. Wants to take the powder to see what he can figure out about it.
I think Fash would probably come to a similar conclusion and be like, take one of those false teeth back. Give one of those false teeth to Svengar. Take that back to take that back to Malberg and give it to Pyramira. See if she can get some experts on it and figure out what they're using to off themselves. Maybe see if we can't come up with a counter agent. It's like I think he kind of looks at you guys. I think he kind of looks at you guys like as he turns around. He goes, "Well, they beat us this round. They didn't accomplish everything they meant to, but they silenced Prosker. None of their agents allowed themselves to be captured alive."
I think that Bazbeer would say, "From where I'm standing, we're in a room with 6 corpses. That's a better victory that none of them are ours."
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah, he goes, hopefully next time we'll have a little bit better time of it. He looks at you guys. He goes, he looks around at you guys. He goes, um, I think he probably looks at Arthur and Saren in particular, and he's like, but he kind of says, "Why don't you guys kind of analyze how they operated? See if you can't figure out a way to see if you can't figure out effective strategies for dealing with them. You were there during you were there during the well, when they killed Prosker. Maybe you can glean some kind of information out of the way they operated. For my part, I can tell you that they Well, the first two were pretty obvious. I mean, well, to me anyway. Maybe not to your average person. I imagine they would have slipped most people's notices, but they came out of the shadows. They seemed to like to. For me, they tried to surround me and keep me off balance. It was harder to, the two I killed. It took me a minute to be able to finish them off, but that Rassen guy, he kind of shrugs his shoulders. He goes, "He got the better of me today. He's good."
Now, these ones, Arthur says, and he's rifling through the pockets of one of the two that Saren killed.
You find maybe, like they each have between all of them, they have maybe. Let me roll something here.
I don't know. It took me 12 seconds to take 2 of them out, so kind of easy.
They have between the two of them, they have 2 silver, or between all of them, they have a total of 2 silver and.
Oh, and
Oh,
Arthur's not even trying to hide the fact that any coin he's finding, he is pocketing directly into his own pockets.
and 11 copper.
Like,
is that what I found on this other one that I was searching?
Well, that's the total of what you found between all of them.
Okay.
But as far as personal effects, they don't really seem to carry any. They each have a short sword and a dagger, so you can add that to your each of their short swords and daggers to your inventory.
I will
drop those.
fill up my bandolier with a couple more daggers.
Yeah, take all the daggers.
Give you all the daggers. Give anybody a short sword. I don't care about it.
I think they are all wearing leather armor. I want to make sure what they were wearing, kind of armor.
Items
Studded leather. They were each wearing studded leather armor, so they each have a studded leather armor, black cloaks, a short sword, a dagger.
So
And as Avaria searches through the body, she's like she's just dropping the weapons. She didn't care about the weapons. She's like, nothing. They have nothing on them.
I think maybe one of them like has some like a flyer on them, like like a little handout or pamphlet or whatever. That is just that is basically that basically says like basically is like it starts off like, who wants to die? I do. And then in the inside it's like, because death is not the end. Narathos the animate, the lord of all undeath, calls to you to, to everlasting life, to fulfill all the ambitions you've ever had, to never lose the ones you love, bring everyone into bring under everyone under the shroud of eternal life, that kind of stuff.
Is this
Like,
written or printed?
yeah,
It
that's what I'm
is,
asking.
the front page is printed, but the front page is written, but the inside is printed.
They have office workers.
Yeah. I think Bazbeer takes this, or whoever gets the pamphlet, he'll probably point towards Fash and say, "Best to be given that to him."
While they're doing that, like Arthur probably pulls out the dagger from this guy's collection, pocket, clearly like tucking the coin into like his vest pocket. And maybe the dagger has like a hole for a pommel, so he's spinning it between his fingers as he looks over to Vash and is like, despite what Saren says, they're no slouches. They came in a pincer, used the rain so that we wouldn't see them.
Oh, like he's like he goes, yeah, he goes, you know, he goes, commendable that you managed to survive. I don't imagine we could have expected too much greater success not knowing what we were up against. Professional, at least trained professionally.
And him being like, "Oh, there's no better success we could have hoped for." There is like a flicker of Arthur's eyes towards Posker's body and a twitch to his lips, but he tries to keep a straight face and busies himself going to the next body and stealing that coin.
Each of these bodies, as you're rifling through and taking all of their stuff, they each bear the tattoo, like on the inside of their wrist. They each bear a tattoo of a mouth with a dagger, slide through, pierce through it. So they each bear the tattoo, including Prosker.
Yeah, he wasn't
Which
as
might
innocent as he thought.
might explain why he didn't die as quickly as you would have expected.
The crypt. So you said it's a dagger with a mouth through it. Is that the? Will we know that? General. Is that general knowledge, or is that something that we would have to?
Well, you guys have run into this before. The bard that performed the song about like the miller's daughter and the tavern keeper's daughter and their tragedy. Like there's that hinted there were more verses. He had the same tattoo. And
Gotcha.
you recognize it as the symbol um, of kill hands. Like they are, from what you understand, they are like higher ranking, more professional members of the Cryptsai cult. Like
Gotcha.
you're beginning from the bits and pieces of knowledge you have that you've picked up, you would guess that the kill hands operate, as sort of like they operate as a more official capacity. Like the nature of death cults and the like is most of them you'd never know who they were because they're normal people. You never know when the weapon, the blacksmith or or the porter or or the tavern keeper or or his tavern winches or his stable hands or the farmer out on the range might actually belong to a death cult. But these guys, they're a step above. This is what they do
Gotcha.
for a living. Like it is very clear that they don't have a profession other than to be the sort of like, well, kill hand seems to be a fairly accurate description because they are the hand of the cult that kills people
Bit on the
professionally.
nose. Bit on the
Yeah,
nose.
you know,
And Oscar has one of these on him as well.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
So he at least went through the training. And this proves they were willing to kill somebody that they'd considered one of their own if they became a liability, or that they were willing to con somebody far enough to give them the tattoo and then kill them. But it kind of speaks to a very professional level of operation, and that Prosker had some level of involvement beyond just casual, beyond just casual membership. Because
right.
you found the serrated dagger, he's got the tattoo. Um, you know, you're guessing you just caught him trying to be undercover, and not realizing that the cult considered him a loose end.
Maybe he wasn't as drunk as he pretended to be, as he seemed to be, and maybe he just got caught unawares.
Perhaps. Knowing that all of these bodies bear this mark, I think it would be wise to burn them all.
Holding up one of these tattooed arms towards Svengar, Arthur looks at him and says, "Is there any use of you taking something back to court like this, like showing them how dire the threat is?"
Suppose if we could take a few, I suppose if we could take a body or two just as physical evidence for the Baron, it might be worthwhile. He's like, he says, Though I'm not
Look-
certain what he says, perhaps their priests can get a bit more answers out of them than what we could in life. I don't know. Andor the Learned seems to have quite a bit of power behind him.
We're gonna do that. Dealing with the undead, though, maybe it would be better to just take the hands. Don't want
He
the
looks
bodies getting up later.
he looks somewhat disgusted by the idea.
Bazbeer approves
Actually,
of this.
actually, he actually probably doesn't look disgusted, but many of his men do.
Yeah.
Barber just
Bazbeer,
gives them a look like, look, guys, you gotta fucking get a little wacky when you're dealing with corpse people.
yeah, I think Bazbeer agrees and says, "Yes, if a body is not whole, it is harder to raise and less effective at that."
Can we cut the tattoo off? Well, then you would
Yeah.
where it came from.
Could,
I don't know.
It probably serves more as a warning to the Baron as long as there's a body attached to it and not just a bit of skin.
And as widespread as this cult is, we never know who is an ally or with them. It is probably best to not send an entire corpse. Who knows who might take this corpse and give it back to the cult for one more go around in the world, I guess.
Did any of you
And-
ever had that parchment over to Fash? That pamphlet?
Oh, the pamphlet. Yeah, Bash.
I think pamphlet.
Is that a job?
I think
Corpses.
yeah. He looks at it and he reads that. He's like, "Well, this is proof that they're recruiting actively." And he goes, "Not surprising, really. You know, plagues and undead in the area. Lots of goes. A lot of people. I don't know. Might not see the same level of hope." And Naratho still has his icy fingers in several people's hearts here in the lands of Lazrikaan. He goes,
He said it.
Roll credits.
"Yeah, I know, right? He said the title. He said the thing. He said the thing." So yeah, he kind of he's like, "I think this." He goes, "We definitely want to send this as proof back." He goes, he goes, "One, it speaks to a greater level of organization." And he goes, "Two," he goes, he's like, "Two," he goes, he goes, "Two, Narathos's followers are getting a lot more organized. Didn't used to be this way. Just a few ragged peasants with a occasional sacrifice of a dog out in the moonlight by the stream. It's a long step from that. Professional killers in the service of of death cults, or rather, probably more to the point, undeath cults. They're promising. They're promising to bring them back into unlife. I'm guessing that this is how I'm guessing that he goes, "Well, I guess it's not a guess. It's pretty obvious." And they're looking for people with little or no hope, or people who are ambitious enough that they don't feel like they can get it all done. And those with a great deal of loss already. Because the wording is very clear that they're trying to offer people hope beyond death. But this time in the corporeal world. And he kind of lets that sink in for a moment. Like, Svengar, he's like, he hands the pamphlet to Svengar. He goes, "I want you to personally deliver this. Don't let it out of your sight." The fact that parts of it are printed. Yeah, there's somebody with some level of resources behind this. Question is, who?
Who indeed? My research has turned up no such backer of any kind of organization of this sort. I didn't even know that this organization was this huge. This is well beyond anything that I've studied.
Those that follow on death can take any station in life, and the greater the station, the greater the rewards.
You're not wrong there. Easier to enjoy undeath if you start off with a whole lot of money that you didn't really leave to anybody but your own corpse.
Okay, I got a random question just popped into my head. So, all these people that we killed, plus Poshker, were a part of a specific group, right?
Yeah.
So, what did Poshker do that made them mad that they took Poshker out?
I'm guessing us asking around about him probably did. His cover would seem to be blown. It's entirely possible that you were observed that he looks at Avaria and he looks at Avaria and Tamir and Madhu, who has finally come in out of the storm after having gotten lost. He goes, you were observed at his house and they felt like they needed to do something, or it's possible that they somehow knew that you looked at Saren, that you found the dagger and investigated his house in town. As
So, you're saying Poshker being dead is our fault?
well, it seems that way. He was the weak link. We were specifically asking questions about him.
The eye searches, the blade bites.
Something like that. A bit more poetic than I particularly probably would have waxed. It was like, he's like, Svengar, in the morning I expect you to take the evidence back to the capital and at least one of those false tooths, one of those false teeth, the pamphlet, and a body or an arm, I don't know, whatever would be easiest for you to back to the capital. You can give it tell Primera to have special attention to it. I'm sure she'll put some people on some of this stuff. And as for us, he kind of looks around and he's like, I say we leave in the morning.
Agreed. This place has put too much stress on all of us. And like she looks around at the people she kicked.
He's like, one, I don't think there's going to be any more activity here, given the fact that we've already blown the cover of the cult here, a very public display that they of assassination out there. My guess is they'll see the extra attention and at the very least draw back into the shadows. I don't know if they'll draw their operations out completely, no telling how well embedded they are here, but the extra attention should give them some pause. We need to head to Halif. And Halif, that's going to be he says that's going to be a slightly longer journey. It took us a week to get here. It's going to take us 2 weeks to get to Halif, and hopefully in Halif we can find some way to take a boat down the river to get to Green Creek. It's like, he's like, Halif is pretty small, and I would expect, it's a place that Saren, you've traveled through before. You would have had to have. I don't know if any of the rest of you have ever made your way through. Probably not Basbier, obviously, because he came
Yeah.
from a completely different direction.
Not a tourist, Basbier.
Yeah, and not Varia either. She just started venturing out.
Archer, I don't know how far you've ranged out from the area around Pinefall and Narset, but maybe you've been to Holliff before, maybe not. But many of you haven't. Tamir, it's obviously no place you've been. There's not enough civilization there for anybody to be hiring entertainers, per se. Another village kind of like Emmerich, but maybe smaller and less incorporated.
Hmm. Well, and I think Basbier is going to say to Fash. It appears that the gear that I have left, that the tools that I have left my hold with, are inadequate for the travels that we will be finding. The sooner we may stop at a weaponsmith, the better.
Oh, well, there's a smith here in town, but we're not going to be by any large cities for a while, I'm afraid. Our travels, and he pulls out a map, and he's like, our travels lead us here to Holliff. From there, hopefully we can find some kind of boat or something to get downstream to Green Creek. And once we finish our investigation there, well, then I imagine we'll be back to the barony. It'll take us 2 weeks to get to Holliff. Depending on whether we can get a boat or not, it'd take us almost twice as long to get to Green Creek. At least if we have to ride by horse. He says, if not, maybe it might take us a few days instead. It depends on the boat. But once we come back, it'll take that same amount of time to get back to Malberg. Assuming, of course, good travel conditions and no particular distractions. But I have a feeling that's going to be a little bit more sketchy. Because from Malberg, who knows? We'll have to see where they want to send us after that. He goes, but if you're going to look for a weapon, if you need to buy a weapon, then perhaps this is the town to do it in.
Probably says, I require funds to purchase just a small purchase.
He's like, what do you need? And he kind of narrows his eyes. He's like, I got to budget this stuff.
Says, it would be better if instead of a light mace, I had a flanged one.
What is the cost of...
Let me look that up. Weapon. Yeah, I'm just looking to pick up a Morning Star, which is 8 gold pieces.
8? I think he would probably think about it for a minute and he'd calculate. He's like, he goes, yeah. He goes, we could probably swing a Morning Star for you. He goes, we'll have to. He goes, we'll have to go a little skimpier on bribes once we get to Green Creek, but maybe that'll be. He goes, given Saren and I are from there, that might not be that problem. Our biggest issue is going to be Holliff. Do we have to bribe anyone there for a boat? Pay for a boat? Is there a ferry is the ferry still in operation? Is it there?
Perhaps, and he'll hold up his hand and say, perhaps offloading the items that we have just acquired would help offset that cost.
Before we go doing that, let's consider something else here. Why don't we take these weapons to the blacksmith and see if he recognizes the handicraft?
Very wise. Yeah. Everyone at the same time. Very wise.
Probably not his, but if what you're saying is true and there aren't a lot of blacksmiths in this area, they probably know one another.
he kind of shrugs. He goes, he goes, I don't. He goes, they look pretty. They look pretty generic to me. But if you think it can lead to something, then by all means. The very least, you can sell them off for the. You can sell stuff off to get the money for the Morning Star that Basbeer needs.
Well, I'm keeping the daggers. He pats at his bandolier where he put them already.
I think Fast shrugs. He goes, oh, they're not going to need them anymore.
Well, if they were going to speak up, I guess they should have thought about how silent the grave is.
Ash kind of chuckles at that, and I think by this point the innkeeper has, managed to get him like some booze, and he's kind of quietly just kind of being in the background because he's just like, I mean, this is sort of outside of his experience.
Great
Yeah,
Archer moment.
Yeah, he's
The
like,
barkeep slides the booze over towards Vash as Archer's coming over talking with Vash.
mm-hmm.
And he just tries to swipe it and take it.
I think the point is Fash has already got some booze in his hand by the time you come over. But it like Fash probably like nods at the barkeep and he's like he goes, I think under the circumstances you can probably build a Baron for a round or two of drinks. Steady the nerves of my team here. And the innkeeper nods and he goes, the Baron's credit is good here. And he kind of starts kind of getting a round of ale for everybody. Yeah,
Bloody well hope so.
he's just like Fash is like, but Fash is like, I don't. It looks at you, looks around at you guys. He's like, he's like, he's like, get some rest tonight. Probably keep at least one person with their eyes open. I don't think they'll try anything tonight, given the encounter earlier. I mean, they got most of what they were hoping for. And hopefully hopefully they don't want to operate too much where they're already exposed. But just to be on the safe side, take shifts, keep an eye on the place. And I think Svengar is like, he looks at Svengar, pipes up. He goes, "My men can probably help too." And like, yeah, he's like, "Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea." He goes, he's like, "Keep a couple of guys stationed either out front or at least by the door." And Svengar sort of nods in agreement. And I think Fash kind of looks at it. He goes, "I got to finish writing this report. Before we leave tomorrow, I got to send this off with Svenny here." And he kind of goes upstairs to finish his report, leaving you guys to drink in peace. Svengar, for his part, stays downstairs and drinks with his men. Because you now have a group of about 5 soldiers plus Svengar sitting around at the inn as well as the rest of you.
Yeah, Ivaria will get a drink, and she will find a corner to drink in by herself.
Right? Yeah.
Scott, how much damage did you take?
5. That's what I was about to say. As with the rain, all of his clothes you couldn't tell with all what rain. But then as it starts drying up in here, you notice there's a little gash on his arm that he's kind of randomly pushes pressure to and is like still goes on and like ignores it, but it's like, okay, everybody else is more important type thing.
Go ahead and give yourself 3 HP back. Bazbeer is going to use all 3 of his Orisons. turn them into cure miners.
Mm-hmm.
Cure minor wounds. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I think Bazbeer, for his part, he's going to spend a little bit of time writing in his big ass book. And after he's done with that,
full.
yeah, he's gonna spend some time writing in his big ass book, and then when he's done with that, he's gonna go. He's not taking a watch. He's getting his full sleep. Like,
I think Archer will drink on his own for a bit, but then he will actually like approach Avaria.
Or
Like not crowd her, but sit down across from like the table from her, put his cup on top, hand over it, and give her a look that's it's not suspicious, but it's more concerned. And is like, whatever you heard from that lot, it shook you up.
She says, I don't really want to talk about it.
I'm not gonna push you, just
She fiddles with her like her Ieri pendant as she says it. She's like, I don't want to talk about it. What did you say? I'm sorry.
yeah, he takes a breath and is like, I'm not gonna push you, but if there's questions you're looking out, I don't think either of us are gonna be getting answers anytime soon. I think the people we're stuck with, and he nods more towards where Fash had been, rather
Right.
than any one person in the party. I think they make their whole lives on secrets, hoarding them like gold. So we ain't getting our answers until we've proven our use.
Agreed. I only left home to do some good, and now here I am, conscripted into a ragtag group looking for Arieri knows. But it is nice to have somewhat of a kindred spirit, and she like holds up her glass to clink.
Yeah,
Hey,
Arthur gives like
have,
a lopsided grin and cheers to that.
have you guys talked about have either of you told each other where you're actually from? Because Crail is actually not listed on the map yet, but it's pretty close to the Narset. It's kind of between Narset and Pinefall.
No, I don't think they've really talked much
Oh,
about themselves to each other.
yeah.
No, but that exchange makes her feel like she has at least some kind of kindred spirit, and she's like, huh, like as we cheer, she's like, huh, you cheer like someone from Narset.
He just kind of sniffs in that like Holmesy way. He's like, nah, Pinefall. A little bit too so.
Farther
Crail,
north, yeah.
Crail, not far.
And it's nice to know there's someone here who's got a good head on their shoulders that isn't, well, probably looks up towards the room since Bazbeer wandered off. Well, he looks like he's already got both feet in the grave, don't he?
Agreed. I'm surprised he's not more in line with the undead. As he looks like one.
I wouldn't say that too loud. Not a lot of good you'll be doing if you get a flanged mace in the back of your head.
No, he's a good one. He is a good man, despite his eccentricities. Still, what are we even doing here?
What is anyone doing here? Good's what you make of it.
I agree. I still want to know what that man knew. We got nothing out of any of this. but a dead lead. No, correction. 6 dead leads. 7 dead leads.
Nine if you're counting the 3 upstairs.
Oh, so many. What a waste of time. We know
Corpses are
nothing more than we
corpses.
did before.
I think
You know that
maybe like we get like a side shot of Fash looking at the dead bodies on the floor of his room and just like starting to drag them towards the
this
window and
little
just chucking
gnome
them
having
out.
to.
He's just, I mean, he's stronger than he looks, but I
Yeah,
mean,
but
this
if
gnome
they're
is throwing.
humans, they're like 3 times his size.
Well,
Right.
he's just throwing. He takes all the stuff off of them and throws them out the window, like just like fuck it. It's like
I
it's
think there's
faster.
a.
Well, for him, it's like it's faster than dragging it all the way downstairs and out the door.
I
You
think
know?
that's perfect for we're talking about the fact that there were ones upstairs and there's a thump, and
Well, you
right
wouldn't even.
out the window next to us, the bodies are falling out.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you don't hear it because the storm is still blowing, and you could really mostly just hear the wind and like the creaking of the boards on
It was at
the
least
inn
like
and whatnot.
the
But you see
shadows of
through
the
the yeah.
bodies.
Oh yeah, it's just like the window, the back window. You just see these things fall down.
That is
The
the
dome.
greatest scale I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, if
Well,
you guys ever question him about it later, he'll just shrug and be like, "It was faster and easier than dragging him out the door, and I was tired." Like,
man's got the right idea.
yeah.
Think they would have cared for our corpses?
No, they would not have. Avaria finishes off her drink. She says, I think I'm going to go get some rest. It looks like Svengar and his men have a handle on watches, and I am too tired and to even think about what is going on in this town. Otter, and she like doffs her hat to you and heads upstairs.
Avaria? He just lifts his cup and then drains it and goes back to get another.
I think it would probably be obvious to most of you, especially especially Archer, who as a ranger is a bit more has a little bit more of, and Saren, who was trained in the same academies that Duke O'Canther trained his people in. That these guys, their goal out there outside was never to beat you guys in a straight up fight. That was never their mission. Their mission was,
Their
to
mission was to
eliminate Prosker
kill Prosker, get out.
at all costs. Yep.
Get out optional.
Yeah, get out optional. Yeah. So they didn't come at you with the intent of, oh, we're going to beat these guys in the street. They came at it with the intent of, we're going to kill this guy. That's our mission. So, I mean, the rest of you, it might or might not be obvious, depending on how you feel like your character backgrounds would allow you to think about that situation. But
Yeah, Avaria is not martial at all, so she wouldn't even consider that.
I think Archer looks at it more like a gang trying to settle a dispute, or even wolves. They pick out the thing in the herd of deer they want to eat. They grab it. They go.
right, they had a very specific intent, and that's what they were going for. Yeah. So
It's a miracle that we got out as well as we did. Would have been nice if we could have kept the kid alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that like in his room, like Bazbeer, before he lays down, kind of opens up his book, and maybe we get like a look inside, and just like he kind of takes a forlong look at the book, and we see the daub of Posker's blood, and beside it, it just says, a young man twisted by grief, manipulated, the first of many.
Dower.
Oh,
What a
Oh,
dower
yeah.
Dawi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he probably closes his book and goes to bed to go to his second awakening. You know, the visions he's constantly haunted by.
Oh, yeah. Oh, tonight you were haunted by visions of how this could have gone even worse. Like the not just like worry, but like you feel like you're getting a peek into different possibilities of how this like in one of them
timelines.
in one of them all not everyone dies because a tornado rips through the village.
Oh, jeez. Jesus.
Yeah, there is one very like I think that's the strongest one, like the very first one that just like pulls you directly into your sort of like dream visions is like this vision of you all coming heroically out of the inn, attempting to save Posker, and the storm kicks up, and as you're fighting, a tornado rips through and just kills all of you, like include kill hands, Posker, yourselves, everyone. Like
Yeah.
uh, the villagers just like rips the whole place apart. Like very strong vision of how one of the ways this could have gone down. Um, but there's a. Does anybody else have anything before we move on? Is there Tamir? Do you have anything?
No.
And Tamir's just kind of hanging out drinking.
Yep.
All right. Does anyone attempt to socialize with Svengar and his men?
Very, like, surface level. I feel like Arthur understands that these guys are probably a bit too straight-laced if the idea of cutting off hands from people who could potentially raise as undead is a bit too squeamish for them. But, he carouses.
Yeah, you probably get the impression that these are I mean, they seem to have their flaws here and there, but for the most part, they're a group of honest soldiers, trying to make a living. They believe in the Baron and look up to him, and they're you know, but they're rowdy like soldiers are wont to be. Loud and bit of backslapping and trading of wild loud stories about their misadventures and whatnot. Um, some of which you may or may not necessarily find to be dubiously spoken. But
Yeah, he probably thinks they're all bullshit, but he plays along. And
yeah,
Archer is going to drink until he is just a little bit sloshed, and then do what everyone does when they get a little bit sloshed. That's pass out face first into bed.
yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. And I think our last image, like maybe like we get the Basbier image and we get a little bit of like Arthur carousing. We get like that sort of like anime cut, that anime sort of montage of like still shots of you maybe rolling dice with a couple of them. 1 minute, one shot and
Oh, if
another
he's
shot.
gambling with them,
Like
he's cheating.
oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he's waiting
Maybe there's
until they're drunk enough that he can cheat.
yeah, maybe there's maybe we get like the second shot as you argue them arguing with you over catching you cheating, and another shot of you like maybe some roughhousing and wrestling, and then a shot of like drinking together and cheersing together with the same guys you were roughhousing with, and and then the last shot is Arthur walking into his room to his bed and passing out face first on his bed. And that's where we will call it, and we will come to the end of our session tonight, or today, I should say. I'm still used to doing this thing at night, so I'm not used to it being day out when I'm finishing. Uh, But yeah,
It's winter. It's almost night.
Yeah.
pretty much, but yeah, but yeah, we kind of end with everybody kind of like with Arthur passing out, and we've got so let's go ahead and start getting sign-offs, shall we? And everybody send me your Player's Choice Awards. So who wants to start us off?
I'll start. Hey everybody, this is Joe. I am playing Evaria. You will see me here every other Saturday playing this game. I also am a screenwriter. I always forget to talk about that. You can catch my movie Half Sisters on Stars if you have Stars, or any other platform where you can rent or buy movies. Half Sisters, starring Christy Dawn Dinsmore from Vikings and Sydney Wimbush from Book 2, Power Book 2. Yep, and that's me.
Nice.
All right, who's next?
I suppose I'll go next. Hello, everybody. My name is Mira Shades, also known as Mira Shades GM. And today, you caught me playing Bazbeer, Foreteller, the dour Dawi, as was put. He is certainly a grim fella, and has some weird ways that he expresses his emotions. But you can also catch me on Tuesdays, every other Tuesday, in Quintus Superior, where I play Ostium Calcitrare, the space cop who got to throw someone off a 100-story building, and that was sick. Other than that, you can catch me around other places. Might be in games here or there. But yeah, that's me.
All right, who's next?
I could go next. Hi ho, friendolos. My name is Rowan, otherwise known as Nighthawk. Caught me here today playing Arthur, who got to not do a lot of ranging with his rangering, but did poke a guy with a sharp stick. And you know what? Sometimes that's all you gotta do, baby. You can also catch me here on Tuesdays where I run Quintus Superior, a Warhammer 40k Dark Heresy game set during the era Indomitus, where the players just pantsed a chaos cult ritual, but in classic grimdark fashion, not before everyone got totally murdered. Now they gotta hope that they can stop the whole city from getting totally murdered. You can also catch me here on Wednesdays, where I am also in I keep almost saying Tales from the Cosmos. Seafoam Bay, where I play a witch who got pantsed in combat, critted, and is now going to spend the rest of combat unconscious.
All right. Awesome. Next up.
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay. You want to go? Okay. Go.
Yeah, I'll go. Okay. Yeah, I'm Brian. I'm playing Tamira, the fire dancer that's actually starting to show some of the stuff that she could actually do, which is surprising a few people. You can also find me on Tuesdays in the Warhammer 40k game, where I play a lovely sister Battle who, well, nearly got killed by a suicide bomber. That was
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we found out that grenades in this system are kind of wacky.
But yeah, you can find me in other places, and who knows what else might show up around here.
Awesome. Scott?
All right, that leaves
You're
me.
the only one left. Yep.
I'm Scott. I played Saren. Saren rolled good today, and I was hoping he would roll good today. Had the Palmatier luck. So that's cool. And it was fun. I don't know what type of character it is. I just kind of go with the whim. But I did good, and it was fun. So that's all that matters. Am I in anything else at the moment? No, I'm not. I'm only in this. and this is where you can enjoy my greatness. Would I be in other stuff eventually? Maybe, I don't know, someday. But hey, this is fun, and that's all I got. Have a nice day.
All right. That brings it back to me, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone gets. Look at this real quick. Everyone gets 440 XP for the combat.
Oh, nice.
The the player's choice was a tie between pretty much everyone, but because 50 does not split so evenly, I am going to be effectively the tiebreaker slash tie caller or whatever you want to call it in this instance. And I am going to say that I think this episode came down to, in terms of role playing, came down to a lot of, everybody did an incredible job. But I think there was a lot going on with both Arthur and Averia. Arthur kind of taking a little bit more, feels like Arthur's taking a bit more responsibility, and Avaria's journey continues to be interesting and entertaining. So I am going to give each of you 25 XP.
Well, hey.
So don't get me wrong, I am enjoying everybody's characters. But
Congratulations.
with
Where's
that
XP
said,
again?
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to find.
And it was four.
Oh, yep.
It was 440 or 450.
440.
440 each.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
440. I'm just trying to find where it is on the sheet.
It's at the very top underneath your character name. I just found it.
Oh, there it is.
So, with that said, I am the Jesta King Zerat. You can catch me here every other Saturday for Lands of Lazrikaan. This has already been kind of a lot of fun. I'm enjoying the characters. I'm enjoying what's going on. It's been I can't say enough about how much I don't think I've ever had characters that felt this connected to the world they live in. So that's a lot of fun for me. Thank you guys. But I think with that said, I think let's get out of here. I guess an R.I.P. Posker and go.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
definitely.
Posker.
R.I.P. Posker.